Yay!
Hey, hiya, 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 hiya.
Right.
Live! Zamia is live.
The Athena Project presents Homeless Network News. Starring Caroline Manheimer, Corey Walton, Greg Tomzarek, Marvin Howard, Wanda Poston, Annette Bryant, Robert Blood, Sol Sepulveda, Tahiti Robinson, and Lurch.
Welcome to Homeless News Network. I'm your host today, Annette Bryant. And I would also like to invite you to like and share and tell us what you think about this. But this is
Yay.
Zamnia Theater, true. And we are here at Zamnia. We work with homeless, those that have been homeless, and those that have not been homeless. And we create plays about homelessness and social justice. And we engage our audiences in order to send our messages and shift and change what's happening in society. So today, our agreement is have fun.
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. Open your eyes, look up to the skies and see. I'm just a rude boy, I need no sympathy, because I'm easy come, easy go, little high,
This is gonna work.
low. Any way the wind blows doesn't really matter to me. So you think you can snow me and spit my eye? So you think you can love me and leave me to die? Oh, baby, can't do this to me, baby. Just gotta get out, just gotta get right out of here.
Oh, that was really fun, huh?
Was fun. That was
That was
fun.
really
Was
That
that
was
fun?
Wacky but fun.
Caroline.
Do it again. Do it again.
Fun.
And once again, we are back with today's old news, not new news.
From Facebook, that place where that one friend posts too many pictures of their pet.
This camp had a chance to be a real sanctuary. The community and 98% of the residents wanted that.
The city or the police or both were unwilling, or what I believe, afraid of an ambush. They were unwilling to provide safety or protection to those unhoused citizens.
This is not The Wire.
Powderhorn is not a separate zone.
My neighbor found a man sleeping on her porch. He said he was looking for a place to be safe. She bought him a sandwich.
Volunteers tried to support and help with security, but without training, logistical support, and some paid long-term people, they experienced threats and intimidation from drug dealers, burnout, and having to deal with shootings, sexual assaults, and mental health needs that they were not helped with. This is not a failure of the volunteers.
This is the city and county not stepping up, not delivering services to citizens that they considered marginal, whatever that means.
Mayor Fry said that the needs were infinite, and an apparent explanation for staying hidden and doing nothing.
I am so angry I could spit.
Sanctuary denied.
Sanctuary denied.
Sanctuary Denied.
Sanctuary denied. The Dream Deferred by Langston Hughes. What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun, or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat, or crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load, or does it explode?
For homeless people, COVID-19 is horror on top of horror.
As the coronavirus spreads, unhoused people are among the most vulnerable to infection.
And that's today's old news.
Not new news, but old news.
I slept outdoors in a public park in Brooklyn, New York.
I slept in the desert.
I slept under the Franklin Avenue Bridge.
I slept in my car.
I slept in a cemetery on someone's mausoleum. I slept on the floor of a public bathroom.
I slept in a laundry room in the basement of an apartment.
I slept on a boat.
I slept in a tent on a winter road blockade.
I slept in the bed in the shelter.
I slept in an abandonmenium in North Philly. I slept on the floor of an army tank.
I slept on a cement floor in a garage.
I slept in an abandoned car.
I slept in my own bed in my own house.
I slept in a moving train.
Good evening. I'm your anchor for Homeless Network News, Ben There. Welcome to tonight's segment of HNN. Try and keep up. Tonight, you'll hear our social media coordinator, Dawn Nat, who will be posting headlines of interest from local news sources.
Large Minneapolis homeless encampment concerns officials. Post, share.
See what I mean? So let's get started. Tell me if you've heard this one before. The housing situation for the homeless continues on a pandemic scale. Prior to the pandemic, the encampment situation seemed to have been addressed in Minneapolis and St. Paul over the past couple of years. But now with COVID-19 entering the second coming, the shelter system has transitioned their occupants to alternative housing sites for safety and their personal welfare. There is a significant number left to tend for themselves who have ventured into the city parks and live in tents.
These cities are stopping police from responding to homelessness, drug use, and mental health issues. Share.
The park board has allowed them sanctuary there and is in the process of initiating limits to the number of locations to 20 parks and a maximum of 25 tents per park. Of course, from the virus is not the only issue. People are homeless due to numerous reasons, poverty among them. Also, mental health, chemical addiction, physical abuse, just to name a few. It is necessary to protect them and those around them from further abuse and harm. After all, they are human beings.
Homeless and New Parkway encampment in danger of coronavirus and being used like pawns by activist advocate charges. Powderhorn residents try to keep peace as concerns over violence grow. Share.
The pandemic has caused many more families to lose their housing due to insufficient income. Also, the tax structure is mandating increased rent and other housing costs. The upper 1% is still raking in all the profits. These costs could be addressed more efficiently if other sources of housing are made available.
Police investigating 3 sexual assaults at Powderhorn Park encampment. Share.
Well, Rashid, who was the first resident of the Powderhorn Park Sanctuary and part of their self-organized security patrol, says, I feel very safe here. I don't feel that there is any immediate threat. I don't think we need police here. I just think I think we can handle everything and anything that needs to be done in-house. That's what's part of having a great community.
Police investigating 3 sexual assaults at Powderhorn Park encampment. Share.
Well, another Powderhorn Park Sanctuary resident, Bentley, says it's cool to not have to move around or worry about it. Once you get to know your neighbors, everybody kind of watches out for each other.
Police investigating 3 sexual assaults at Powderhorn Park encampment. Share. Angry face, sad face, like angry face.
So if you could all try and keep up and maybe spend less time on clickbait headlines, maybe there'd be greater solutions to end the ongoing crisis. That's all for now. So see you next time down there. Oh, let's do the math. Cost $847 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment, affordable apartment according to HUD, which means you'd have to have an annual wage of $35,000 to afford it. But, you know, if the minimum wage was $11.45 an hour, which it's not, you'd be making about $450 for a week for 40 hours. And times 52, that would bring you up to roughly $23,400 a year, which, you know, it's probably 23,400 equal 35,000. I don't think so.
It just doesn't add up.
Doesn't add up.
Doesn't add up.
Doesn't add up.
Who can afford it?
It's not 35,000.
It doesn't add up.
Who can afford it? Go tell me.
Does it?
No, you can't do it. When I was a kid, we had a 3-bedroom that we paid $250 for. And nowadays, you're going to pay $1,500 for that same house.
When I was making $22 an hour, I spent 50% of my take-home pay on my mortgage.
I remember paying $650 for this 3-bedroom for me and my children. And for the same unit, it's over $1,200 now.
I was getting $700 a month in Social Security and paying $675 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment.
I was renting a house when I had 3 children, and the ownership changed, and overnight, my rent doubled.
Well, that sounds like some really huge hoops to jump through. And you know, speaking of hoops, we're about to play something great and wonderful from the archives from one of our road shows, Just Us. So here we go.
Thank you, boy. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bling Bling Brothers Circus, the greatest show on earth. Tonight, we feature the death-defying deeds of the greatest acrobat this world has ever known, Pete. Watch in amazement as Pete walks the high wire of human horror in an attempt to navigate the system after getting off to a pretty rocky start. Can I get a drum roll, please? Thank you, boys. And here we go. Stole your first candy bar at a young age. My family was poor. I was hungry. Ooh, shaky start, but plenty of time to straighten out. Got the wrong kid at school. It happens. Not the end of the world. Have to recall, first time you ever got in this type of trouble. I was just a kid being a kid. And that's just a small blemish on your record.
I kicked in ears ever since I was a little head.
I was young. I didn't know what I was getting into. And you can still lick it. Oh, another slip. Looks like a little jail time for you.
Friends and family still hanging in there.
Okay. One more misstep and it's off to prison. Friends and
Family
abandon you. Oh, what a fall! But not to worry. He's doing okay. How you feeling, Pete?
My head hurts.
Feeling great. Next, Pete gets up, out, and ready to get back on his feet again.
I am?
After paying his debt to society, Pete will attempt to avoid an array of highly sharpened knives thrown at him as fast as we can possibly manage. Good luck, Pete. Let him have it, boys. Wrapped up at the shelter. No clothes, no belongings, and no ID. Oh, that's both of them. Nice work, Pete. They're not right? Oh, that's just a flesh wound. Don't worry about it. You can't get a job with that type of credit. Oh, got him in the neck. Probably going to need a Band-Aid for that one. Oh, right in the OA order. But no problem. Put a little cream on it to be just fine. Let him have it, boys. Let him have it, boys. Hey, get going, boys. You're looking good, Pete.
No, it's good. I need some time to regroup. Just
Sure
give me a
thing,
second.
Pete, sure thing. Right after we bring out the lions.
The what?
Watch as Pete survives a cage full of man-eating lions. Good luck, Pete, and he's gonna need it.
Lions. I didn't sign up for lions. I didn't.
Well, what did you expect? A second chance? Here, kitty. Come on.
Hey. I'm allergic.
Don't stop, kitty. Come on, boys, get up. Yeah, go ahead, boys, get up. You can't get that charge expunged from your record. Keep your ladies down, living in the stray. No address, no job. No job, no address. No money. No house. No support. Homelessness. He has been decapitated. He has lost his head. But not to worry, he's still a trooper. Besides, nothing that a little cream and a couple of Band-Aids can't fix. Let me see how the young man is doing. Coochie. Oh, he's out back of the light. Oh, yeah. Mess with my system, will you? Huh. That'll teach you. I'll try dragging him or leave him here. I can just keep him here. Super Bowl's not going to
I think I smell that.
Mom, Dad, this is no place for someone like you.
Oh, that was pretty heavy to watch because it really hasn't changed too much. The system still pushes people to the same places, makes people, gives them the same options. I mean, we have had a few better people, better situations happen, but it still looks like that, like a game of like a sideshow. It really does.
Well, we would like to thank all for coming. But before we go, Insomnia, we do a one-word go around. And so I'll take fantastic job. Lurch?
I would say ferocious lions.
Oh boy. I can never think of an actual word, so I'm just gonna do a sound. Woo! Oh, Caroline.
I am going to say exuberance. Marin.
Fun. Robert.
Spectacular. Rebecca.
Invisible. Greg.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I think that's
So
it.
now,
Is that everybody?
that is everybody. We will pick a word. So since today was about having fun, let's go out on fun.
Hands in.
Thank you once again for coming.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everybody.
everybody.
Galileo, Galileo.
Galileo Figaro.
Oh, no, 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 no. Galileo.
Galileo? Galileo?
I'm just a poor boy, nobody loves
I
me.
love you. Just a poor boy from a poor family.